How are you doing today? My name is Kathleen Horvath. I'm a business Feng Shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the TimeBlazr business management system. And my system is something that dovetails very, very well with my guest, dear friend, and also fellow healer, Kate Hellmers. Hi, Kate. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kathleen. It's incredible to be here. Thank you.
So, Kate, before we kind of get into what we're about ready to introduce, I want them to know a little bit about what you do, and then we'll explain why you and I are looking at doing this collaboration together.
So what I do is I'm an energetic designer and strategist for driven business people, which means that for some reason, my gift is to be able to see people's energy when I'm working with it and their businesses, see what it's supposed to look like to get where they want to go, and then come up with strategic bullet points to do it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Gosh. I've been talking too much this morning.
I know, right?
But the fun thing is it can make life so much easier in order to, change your energy and it's not just changing your energy. I see 20 different energetic systems around people. So chakras just being one of them. So I know, I don't know if you remember, Kathleen, but the first time I was in one of your free seminars, and I got the biggest energetic hit. I call them taps because not the outside taps, but tapping, but I get an inside energetic feeling and my intuition just, lights up. And you were on screen and you were talking about the TimeBlazr. I was like, ding, 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 ding. You need this, it'll work. And signed up that day, became a client of yours, didn't even know you, but it was like, you need this and you need to know this person. And I called you and said, we need to work together. We need to, I would love for you to know what I do. And it just blossomed from there.
Yeah. And, I tell you, it's very interesting for those of us who are in tuned with the frequencies that are happening around us, the subtle energies, whatever you want to call it. But for me, when I fully accepted, I'd love to know, what you do. And the reason why is because I have found, even for myself, because I have used you as well, even though I do Feng Shui, I do Chinese astrology, I do the date selection, which is my TimeBlazr, but sometimes there are either outside forces or maybe internal downward spiral kind of things that a person goes through. And so I decided, how can I clean my energy up the best that I can so that I can serve my clients to my highest potential and also live a harmonious and fulfilled life. So it was very interesting how we came to know each other, but we really have never met each other in person. We live on opposite sides of the country. Yeah. We're still finding a way to, make our paths meet physically, but on this level that we end up working is quite interesting. I also want to mention that I am so impressed by what Kate does and really can laser in on what a person needs. I can only take my clients so far, right? They are mortals just like Kate and I are. We all have the same things you are dealing with as well. We have bills to pay, houses to clean, we've got business models that we have to follow, but you know what? There are other tools that we feel that will enhance all of that. And when we understand that there is more than just the physical. And so I'm really proud to introduce us as a collaborative team because I had Kate as a bonus at my annual event this year for people who signed up for my TimeBlazr year-long program. It's a mastermind, and I had you as a bonus. And what I quickly found out some of the people that were in that mastermind said, is it okay if I work with Kate as well? And I was like, yeah, that's why she's here for the bonus, because if you got a lot from that bonus that, you know, you helped not only me, because I benefited from that bonus as well, but I know that other clients reached out to you. So then
that was a fun bonus. It was a money flow bonus. So I not only checked the chakras and the auric fields, but also the flow, which is not always direct, where it goes in your energy as far as your money flow is concerned. So that was so much fun to actually see the individual money flows and then be able to let people know where it was. Wow. Right. It's just amazing when I would hit a point and say, what's this about? They would know. They didn't even know they knew. They're right, like, exactly. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, let's change that.
Because we have our blinders on, right? Yeah. We just assume and just keep like same old, same old. It's always done this way before. Well, here's the thing, everyone. We are just at the brink of a new era that is starting. And I can tell you, and it's called period 9. And this is from the Chinese metaphysical side of what we do. And so what I'm helping people do is prepare for exiting out of a 20-year astrological cycle that is going to affect your space. So the Feng Shui, it's going to affect your astrology. So everything that's going to be happening in your life, from business, personal to health, as well as how are you using that energy to your benefit. And it's a big seismic shift from going from earth, which is one of the 5 elements, going into fire. And that's going to be a 20-year period. And this is something that we're only going to see like once in our lifetime. The next time you're going to see period 9 show up again is 180 years from now. Now, as far as I know, technology is not keeping people alive for 180-year cycles. So
I know I can't even do that.
Nor would I can't even imagine what my body would look like at 180, let alone 100. But neither nor there. Okay, we'll let that one go. But what I do know with all of my heart is that it's very important to look beyond the physical. And because there's so much information out there. And if you are of the mindset that there's something greater than you, then I believe then this is something that we could assist you with. And what I would also say, Kate, when you were working with my clients as a group, it was amazing to sort of have an eye open, because, you know, you're coming on as my bonus, how many people you were helping collectively, and you were doing it live, which I thought was great. And then what you and I did is we kind of took a couple of our, you know, VIP, you know, type clients, and we said, you know, let's just have a look to see what's kind of going on there. And it was very interesting, the different angles we came in.
Well, I think because when you're reading the charts, so the way I actually see it, and you have a diagram like this, time, space, people, when you're looking at the metaphysical data of the person as far as people is concerned, and then the space and how the space around you affects the flow of the energy, and then the time with the TimeBlazr, you know, the days of the week, the hours, it's just amazing how all of that is so synchronous with what I do. Because when I'm looking at someone's energy, it's almost like the 2 pieces of information, or all of the information, just completely combines, because I'm able to see in their energy not only how all of that is affecting their energy, what it looks like. And I think when we did just to let everybody know, I always, because everyone goes, oh, I want to know what my energy looks like. Oh, maybe I don't want to know what my energy looks like, because I don't, you know, I might be too scared. But in the very beginning, what I always do is teach people a really simple 5-step process to make sure your energy is cleaned and protected, filtered right then. And on a collaborative basis, it's very, very easy. And then when people are open to it, I start getting hits on, somebody needs a little blue energy or a little purple energy, just little tiny things that on a live basis, on a class, I do that for my clients all the time. When we're in a course, I let them know exactly what needs to happen that day and train people to know when I give you this bit of information, exactly what to say. So it's on an individualized basis and it's beneficial for you. So that's why when there were so many people on the call, it was so much fun to see all of those smiles because it's working on an individualized basis. And that's what's so much fun. And that's when your energy comes in. I love when we're working with a client, you'll start telling somebody something about their time or their Feng Shui or the metadata about how they can change things. Bam, I'll see their energy change and I can let them know. It's so much fun. I just have so much fun doing that with clients with you because, and I know the client gets a real kick out of it too, because it's all live when we're doing it together.
Right. And, I think you made one very valid point in that comment is the clients walk away with tools.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, what we're about is helping you learn these tools so you're not so dependent on every aspect of your life. Maybe in the beginning, because maybe you've just gone through a traumatic experience and you do need that. But what I think that we both bring to the table are teaching people to really know on a cellular level what their metadata is. And so when I look at people's charts, just as Kate, we look predominantly for business, but let's face it, we all have to be very healthy to show up to do what we need to do. So if you have a health issue, it's going to compromise. Or if you've got a relationship issue, it's going to compromise the quality of your work or whatever the case may be. So really, it's a holistic way of looking at it with very much looking at it from a business perspective. So when I'm looking at that metadata, your year of birth, which people normally stop there, they go to some, Asian restaurant, they look up the little, corny things that says on the placemat while you're waiting for the waitress to show up, and they think that's it. Oh my gosh, you are only getting a like the newspaper view of like what and it's for everybody. Now how could that be, right? So when you look at the year of birth, we're really looking at someone's social media, their advertising, their marketing, the people that they'll encounter in their life that will help build and pull them up or pull them down. It depends on how you use it. It's the law of yin and yang, right? Then the month is about your career, character. Your day is about your personal growth. Like, what kind of person? How are you going to live your life and the partnerships that you bring into your life? And then your hour of birth. We know that everybody doesn't know their hour of birth, but if you do, it's very important because it is not about the money you make. It's how you invest it, as well as your legacies, your goals. That's what your hour of birth is about. And there's so much more, but
I have to tell you, Kathleen, if I can interrupt here.
Yeah.
What I have found so fascinating on the last two calls where we collaborated with clients that they asked us to be on the calls together, I found it so fascinating that when you got to, and I don't know this as much as I should, but the our day was the day. So their personalities and everything like that. You were going through the information and both clients, and they don't even know each other, but both clients said, now I know why I do that. Now I know why I react. This makes so much sense. And it's almost like they didn't trust their intuition. Their intuition was saying to do X, Y, Z, and society or other people around them were saying, no, this is, but it turns out it was innate in their personalities. And you were saying to be your full self, yes, you need to do X, Y, Z. You need your quiet time, or it was different for the different clients.
Right.
But what I loved is that it validated the person. And that's what I love to do with clients.
Right.
When I'm telling them information, it validates feelings and intuition that they've had all their life that they don't even know they had.
Yeah. That actually brings up a kind of a funny story that I had about a client that was, a pretty high profile celebrity client. And when I told him something similar of what you were saying right now, I just said that, you must be a man of routine. You like things in a certain way. And, we got pretty much in depth of what that day of birth meant in his chart. And he just kind of went, I cannot believe how much money I have spent on therapy of people trying to change me of like not being routine and not being so. And it was like, okay.
Exactly.
Have you ever had a funny story that kind of shows up in your work that you just kind of chuckle because it's like, oh my gosh, if we had only spoken years ago, you could have not even gone through all that anxiety thinking there was something wrong with you. No, it's not wrong. It's you. You just need to own it.
Yeah.
And again, the law of yin and yang, you can bring out the best of it or you can bring out the worst of it. But in sometimes, life situations that does happen. But anyway, do you have
I think one of the, I have to explain before I do the funny story that one of the first things I usually see in regards to people's energy are their protections. And most people don't have protections. And some people have a wall, so they're, have too much protection. Right. And other people, it's like mist. When I look at the protections, it's like mist. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes it hits them physically or whatever. So one of the things I do is teach people very, very simple techniques to take care of that. And it works with any religion or I work non-denominationally, so I've worked with everybody. And so consequently, it affects people in different ways. So some people will walk someplace and they'll get a headache or they'll get a stomach ache. They'll be around people they don't understand. Why do I always get a stomach ache when I'm in that room? And they think it's a ghost or something. Mm-hmm. That has happened to them, but it's usually not. It's usually picking up collective conscious energy. So anyway, I've been working with this client, another celebrity, and she flew back east she didn't tell me what, she just flew back east. But sometimes I get like emergency calls, to figure out a contract that somebody's working on or something. And I knew she was away. I get this emergency call and she said, I don't understand. I have the worst headache, just the worst headache. And I asked, and, I took aspirin and everything, and it's all energetic. I don't understand what the problem is. And I just got this wave so her energy was very susceptible to certain energy, which you'll understand in a minute. And I got the wave of that particular energy, which was strange. And I said, wait, where are you? And she said, well, I'm standing in a cemetery. I said, did you protect your energy this morning? She says, no, I forgot. It's like, hello. So she protected it and the headache went away immediately. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't go to doctors, etc. In fact, I get lists for people for doctors so that they can take it to their doctor and say, this is what I need to look at, in your body. But when it's energetic, it can come on and leave very, very quickly. So I was like, okay, it's probably a lesson that you should clear your energy and protect your energy every single day. So I've always laughed with her since then. She goes, I know, I don't even, I always, whenever I see a cemetery, it's like a sign to protect my energy.
Well, those are maybe for you and I, just common sense things that we would do, or that you're going to be entering into a either toxic environment or a highly triggering, environment that, yes, there still might be some, volatility in the conversations, if you will, but if you can also just step back and and those are some of the things that we're going to teach you, especially Kate, about protecting your energy. And I'm going to help you with, the person, space, time, but it's a really beautiful way to blend together. And, over the next couple of months, we're going to be coming on here and there when we have some important announcements to make and start helping you build those tools. So
because from a business standpoint, you can take all of that and think of walking into a meeting. When you walk into a meeting, if you're the host of the meeting, you should be setting up the office or the conference room in a feng shui way so it benefits everybody in the room, but it especially benefits your side. There's so many ways to do that. And from your standpoint, the time of the meeting also, and the personalities of the meeting and how to work with that. And from my side of the standpoint, it's some of the words you say, how you set up your individual energy, how you set up the individual energy of every seat in the room. And it's multi-layered, and the success coming out of those kind of meetings, billion-dollar deals, have been amazing.
It really is. It is. When you think about, from my perspective of how these energies were even created, it really is the art of war. If you haven't read Sun Tzu's Art of War, I highly recommend it. It is a classic that is still incorporated today in government, military operations, business, and it's a short but mighty book. And it's one of those books that you can read in probably in less than an hour, but it is the profound mysticism. If you can understand that of how to win the war without even fighting the battle.
Right. That's the key.
That's the key. And
setting it all up.
Setting it all up and really being intentional, strategic. Yeah. And I think that's where, so I think, are we ready to tell them a little bit about what we're going to be doing?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what we've decided, because one, we work so well together. And again, the collaboration between various clients, we really feel that there is a need for what we do collaboratively. Yes, individually as well. But what we're really trying to do is set you up for this next transition of 20 years, which is the period 9 fiery energy. And so we're creating a webinar that's going to be in September the 6th, and it's called FrequenSees. So we see the frequencies that you may not yet, but we're going to teach you how to plan out not only this next upcoming year, which is the year of the wood dragon, but we have an enormous opportunity on the ascension of the energy that is coming on the cusp of it. We're not at period 9 yet. That will not happen until February 4th, 2024. This is the last opportunity that we will have for the rising of the Phoenix to happen during period 9. But first we need to get rid of some stuff that are going to hold us back. Again, we are at the brink of a new era, which means new ways of operation, spirituality, metaphysics. So if you can understand that the way that you've been doing business in the past, those systems, and we're seeing it right before our very eyes, ChatGPT, AI, that's all period 9 on the cusp of. In other words, you haven't seen anything yet. So we are introducing FrequenSees on September the 6th. You want to add anything to that, Kate?
Just, it's amazing. I had done some research as far as the last 100 years, and every 20 years, what the shifts were and what was happening in the world. So we're also bringing a foundation of how this has worked in the past, especially in business, individual solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business people, and then what the shift is this time. So you'll get a real clear idea for your individual business or for your individual life, different ways that you can set up your life very easily through energetics and time, space, metadata, how to make your life so much easier in this next year. And, on some of this transition, I think the last few years have really shown you how it can. I mean, who could have ever thought that there would be this type of disruption in the world? But it's happening, and it's happened in different ways in the past. Right. And so the new ways and what to expect in a period 9 type of energy. And especially, I think you've brought to the table, if you're fire energy, how do you deal with fire energy? Is there too much, and what to do? And then if you're not fire energy, how to deal with it? And that part of the metadata has really helped me, because it's shown me on certain days. Now I can start to feel it. It's crazy. Sometimes I don't even need to look at the calendar. I can say, oh, I can tell what this kind of day is. But the greatest part is, if I can just tout what you do, the greatest part for me is not necessarily the success days and the balance days, etc. The thought that some of the other types of days, the destruction days, were days that I could take and use to get rid of paperwork, to get rid of all of that. And I've been able to set my schedule up for that energy and use the energy even more. And that's what a lot of Kathleen's stuff can bring to the table. So it's in the macro and it's in the micro, as far as all of the information that's going to be given. It's really neat.
Exactly. And that actually, when you were saying the last few years of every cycle, no matter what it is, and there's so many cycles, patterns, that's why metaphysics is so reliable as a tool, because it is a repeatable pattern. We know that 180 years ago, we had the same type of energy, didn't have the same type of technology. We evolved, but we do know with certainty that certain things are going to play out at certain periods of time. So I remember it was at my 2020, that was my last live annual event that I had, and a full audience. And I don't think I knew you yet.
No.
Live event, and I wasn't live streaming yet, because who was live streaming back then, right? So it was right before COVID hit. Now, I said from stage, do not be surprised by the end of this year, end of 2020, that you're going to be walking around with face coverings on, face masks. And during a break, a group of my loyal clients came up to me and said, Kathleen, you are crazy. There is no way. People in Eastern countries wear face masks, but we're not going to be doing it. And I didn't say the P word, but I did say there's going to be a super virus like you've never seen in your life. I didn't know that it was going to be a pandemic. If I would know that, then oh my gosh. But I did know that we were going to be swept clear. And this does sound harsh, because I myself have lost loved ones and people that are near and dear to me, but it was a clearinghouse of energy. And then going into period 9, this is the earth energy that we're leaving behind. And I'm not talking about someone who is elderly and it was just their time. I'm not talking about that. But as we know, there were young and old that got hit by this, and it didn't matter what race or creed you were. But it was the beginning of it's time to move out this energy. So what we are going to see in period 9, and I will be talking about this for quite some time, is we're going to start seeing huge global shifts in power. So some of these people that are around each other right now, 1 or 2 years into period 9, I am saying they probably will not be in power anymore, but it's fire. Fire is volatile. So it's going to benefit women empowerment, metaphysics, certainly anything in technology. But again, the law of yin and yang, it's also very fiery and volatile. So we're going to see a lot of climate catastrophic events, as well as things like, war and things like that. But I do want to say, yes, those things are there, but we want to also keep our collective consciousness in check. You not get so blown out by something that you can't even function. Yeah. We want to bring to the period 9 table the feminine empowerment. Even if you're a man, you will understand this if you are understanding that there is a way of grace to bring to the table and be heard. We want to bring that more harmonious period 9 into effect in a very empowering way.
And let you know the information so that when the period 9 comes in, you'll be ready no matter what happens, good, bad, you'll be able to take those opportunities and run with them in your business, because you'll be set up energetically and with business solutions to go forward and succeed no matter what happens.
Yeah. So
it can be on fire, it can be like fast lane, really fun.
And burnout, right?
Yes.
So fire needs fuel. So if you don't have enough wood energy coming in, again, that could be within your chart. It could be within the energies of the year that could shift that. Next year's wood dragon. So we know wood's going to be at the beginning of this fiery season. So, and I know you do. I do too, actually. As well as we're in a water rabbit. Rabbit is wood. So we are stoking the fire. And then the year before, 2022, was a water tiger, more wood energy. So the fuel has been fed to the fire, and we're ready to really see that. And truthfully, if you've been working with me, you already know that period 9 is actually here, but we can tap into it. It's not here officially, but we can tap into it. And that's what we're trying to do, is help you on the ascension of the first, 5 to 10 years. So as you're preparing for September 9th, and you're going to hear from us a lot in between, but what I would love for you to do is start thinking about, what is it? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 10 years from now? Add 10 years to your age. Just do that quick calculation. And what do you want to do in 10 years? What we can help you with is your metadata supporting that, is the feng shui of your home or office space supporting that. And are you using your time in a way that's strategic, that goes way beyond and transcends time management? It's energetically taking the right action at the right time. So my fun work for you is reflect a little bit, and where do you want to be 10 years from now? And how about you, Kate? What would you like them to start working on as
I think one of the things we've talked about is, instead of letting the fire sweep through your life, create the phoenix. So get rid of anything that you don't need in your life, and then become the phoenix and just rise right out of the fire, and use, like you said, use the wood and of the fuel in order to spark your life. So you can have, just like a fireplace that's gas driven. It can be a little tiny fire. It can be a rip roaring fire. That depends on you and what you want. Some people don't want the fast lane. They want all of the benefits from the fast lane, but going at their own pace. That's the key. That's when it's fun.
So over the next couple of weeks, because really September the 6th isn't that far away, we're going to be introducing a little bit of case studies and just kind of showing you what we do. We might have a client on here and there if they're willing, but if not, we're still going to just kind of show you our approach and some of the things that you'll be learning along the way. And until then, I'm going to say, from FrequenSees, we're gonna close it up, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, can't wait to see you.
All right.
Bye-bye.